and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of BuildPaintPlay. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake.
And did I say plaint? BuildPaintPlay?
You may have said plaint.
It felt like it.
I knew what you meant.
I'm so glad you knew what I meant.
We're sponsored by Plaint this week.
Plaint, yes. I wish we were sponsored by Plaint. It would be fantastic. It'd be perfect way to include everything.
I'm not sure what they do or what they make, but
it's probably like Vandelay Industries.
Okay.
Where they
All right.
don't actually make anything. But yes, cool. It is nice to be here for another week. Can't believe it's been 7 days already. Whew.
Yeah. This week whipped by.
Yep. It's been crazy. Have you got any more work done on your wonderful?
I did actually.
Yeah.
So today what did I get done today? So today I did all the Agrex shade like washes. So I did like the joints and like the feet and all like the gearing and the smokestacks on the Leviathans.
Okay. And
then I did basically like the splatter pattern and the tracks and the engine block on the Sakaran. So now next tomorrow I'm gonna go in and paint certain sections of them with like a chipping fluid.
Okay.
The AK chipping fluid.
Yep.
And then I'll put down my base color, my yellow, and then I'm gonna do my black stripes, and then I'll use a toothbrush and chip it up.
Scrub all the chips off.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do all the block panels next. So that'll be, there'll be certain sections that are black, like on the dreadnoughts. I'm gonna give them black shoulders, like the pauldrons.
Yep.
On the Marines, and then I think it's easier to paint the panel yellow and then do black stripes on it than to paint it black and try to put yellow stripes over it.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I've done it both ways. I've done it both ways, but yeah, I think it's easier. So I'm gonna paint some panels black, some panels yellow, and then I'm gonna chip some stuff up. I'm not sure how long I have to let it dry. I've never used the chipping stuff before, so I don't know how long it needs to dry for, but
I don't know either. I've never used it.
Yeah.
So.
But I'll check it out. I think the plan is that by the time I'm done doing all the chipping fluid on the Leviathan, and then do the second one, and then do the tank, by the time I'm done with that, the first Leviathan should hopefully be dry.
Okay.
And I'll check it. If it's still tacky, I'll wait. But yeah, so they're getting there. So 1/3 of the army is I would say 50% painted.
Okay.
So I did the math this morning. As long as I get 2 units built and painted or built each week.
Yep.
And then I'll paint that unit the following week, I should be okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna build 2 this week and finish the 3 that I'm working on.
Yep.
And then next week I will start working on the 2 that I built, and then I'll start painting them, and I'll build 2 more.
Right.
And then the following week I'll build the last 2, finish those 2, and then finish painting those 2, and then I should be ready to go.
Okay, ready to go.
I ordered all of my foam trays from Battle Foam too, so I can transport this whole monstrosity out to Adepticon.
Fantastic. Because it's only 3 weeks to go. Right.
Yeah. Okay. This is next. This is next.
Awesome. What's that one?
It's my Dorado.
Oh my goodness. No.
So I got I'm not gonna lie. This kind of bugs me that you have to like this is the dreadnought, and then you
Yep.
have to buy like his like the turret mount, and then his like weapon options. And I was like, okay,
Well,
but legit
yeah.
Forge World stuff. So I got to work on that. That's tomorrow.
Yep.
Upstairs, I've got 2 predators that they're basically done. I got to put the sponsons on one. The other one's done.
Okay.
And then I got to build the Dorado, and I have a Contemptor.
Yep.
And that's going to be the 2 that I build this week. And then next week, I got to do 2 Predators. And then the week after that, I got to do 2 Sakarans, and then I'm done.
Okay. Cool. I wish you all the best, my friend.
Hey, yeah, I like to keep it up to here. I'm okay.
Nice.
How about yourself? What are you working on?
What have I been working on? I finished off my 10 Recon Marines for Raven Guard Recon Marines.
Right on.
I went with where are they?
Nah, dude, they look rad.
So I went with that stripe pattern. These are the bolters. The bolters are huge, but they're from Pop Goes the Monkey.
Yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah.
That's like old school, like super deformed size when like the Marines, all the guns are contained.
Yeah. Yep. They do look good. There's like another.
Scott's on, James is on, Chris is on. What's up, guys?
Yep. Oh, yep. Hey, everybody. Hey, Scott, James, Chris, Jake got takes. Black over yellow, easier than yellow over black. That's bold.
Again, I've done it both ways.
I don't think that's bold at all. I think it's I think the decision to go black over yellow is very much so the easy way. Definitely good. But yeah, so I painted up those. I got the.
To do it.
I can't remember if I had this. Did I have this guy finished? I don't think I had this guy finished last week. So.
You had him built. You didn't have him striped.
Right. Yep.
He looks rad.
So
The leather, the cloak came out awesome.
Yep.
Are you gonna tiger stripe the cloak or camo pattern it?
No. It's gonna get because their bases are gonna be like shipboard bases.
Okay.
With some like red rusty weathering. I'm gonna put that weathering towards the bottom of the cloak.
Okay.
And those stripes are going to be a bit more like the pipes that are in the walls, that kind of feel. So that's what they're camouflaging themselves against.
Those guys look great.
So I got those done. I got up here. I have 20 Breacher Marines. Good to go. I think I had these done and sort of started, but I'm going with like a white stripe down the middle of some, and others have got different panels on the boarding shields done in white.
Nice.
So
Are you gonna do like the gray and white trim on them?
No, all of their trim's going to be metal, like it's all going to be silver. So the iron hand. Originally, I started painting up the iron hands on the shields in white just to check them out, but I'm going to go with the silver on the hands and the cogs and that kind of thing.
Are you gonna do like the Are you gonna buy the iron hands steel, or are you gonna use the I actually think it looks better, even brighter. Like with that, I would probably do like whatever the new Rune Fang is, or like Stormhost Silver or something.
Nope, I'm going to go with dark silver and silver from Monument Pro Acryl.
Nice.
So I'm going with those. So yeah, there we go. There's dark silver. Yay. But yeah, the rest of them have been done in that. So at the moment, I've got 36 painted Raven Guard.
Good God. Okay.
And 12 painted Iron Hands, because I've got those. I showed the, what do you call it? The cool las cannon guys. I love this guy with the little augury scanner.
Dude, that's awesome.
So kind of, he's got that. But of course,
nice.
My camera's flipped around, of course, but that's in his left hand. But it sort of comes off his wrist or his forearm.
Right.
And it's just sort of out in front. So he can just be typing away, checking out what's going on.
A friend of ours just upscaled all of his Mark III Marines so they fit in with the Mark VIs. It was super easy. He basically took like a ring of plasticard
Yep.
and put it at their waist
Okay.
and plugged them in so they're just a little bit taller.
Yep.
And then they all have like, either pistols or, chainsword. They all have all like the gear to kind of cover it up. And once he primed them, they look amazing. Like you're like, oh, they're all the same size now. Like it's just a teeny tiny little ring of plastic. That's all he did for all of them. They look dynamite.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's cool. Definitely good. But yeah, I got all those done. I built some Terminators for my Salamanders, just because I'm sort of messing around with that. And yeah.
Scott wanted to know if you prefer the Pro Acryl metals over the larger bottle Vallejo metal color airbrush colors.
I haven't really used the larger bottle Vallejo metal airbrush colors a lot. I have one of the silvers over in my airbrushing area, but I haven't really used it, so I can't compare too much. I do like the Pro Acryl silvers. I like their coverage. I like the brightness of the silver. I think my previous favorite silver, like bright silver, was aluminium from the Vallejo Model Air. But I think the Pro Acryl silver has better coverage than this does. This is just a little bit too thin. Is my feeling about that. But yeah.
Our buddy Brian is obsessed with is Necro Gold? Is that Vallejo?
I don't know. Might
I
not
thought
be.
it was Vallejo. It could be War Color. I thought it was Vallejo. He like Tinny Tin, Tinny Tin is Vallejo.
Yep.
But he loves like Tinny Tin and like Necro Gold are his two like favorite metallics. He said he like swears that they're like the best.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris says scale.
Yep.
So it's Steel 75.
It's like Necro. Oh, Necro is scale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like they both like rave about that gold.
Yeah. Well, let's not jump into that too quickly. Not too quickly. But just quickly, I'm going to... one of the things I am going to do is plug 2 Kickstarters that are on at the moment. One of them is from Andrew May, who's Meridian Miniatures. And he has done up... I think... Well, actually, I received a package yesterday, which is one of his previous Kickstarters. I haven't opened it yet. It's a cute tiny little box from the UK. Andrew does everything traditional sculpting. Is that where it
remember,
is?
kids,
Yep.
don't do what Uncle Dave is doing. You always cut away from yourself.
No. If it's controlled, you cut towards yourself. Because cutting away, you might go and cut somebody else.
There's no one near you, though.
That'll be the sound of it, though.
Oh, right, that's true. That was pretty accurate. What's the Kickstarter? I'm going to pull up the Kickstarter so I can look at it. What is it?
So the Kickstarter that I'm going to suggest everybody checks out is the Heironymous Bosch miniatures.
Spell that?
No, nobody can spell Heironymous Bosch. I think it's
Heironymous.
YMOUS. Heironymous Bosch. Yeah, okay. Yep. Two of his previous Kickstarters were called Medieval Marginalia. So they were for miniatures that were inspired by things that were found, like just little drawings that monks used to put in the margins of books they were illustrating.
Yeah, I see his first batch.
Yeah. So that's the crazy thing. There's a one has extra arms, but let me find out what else have we got. A few of those. Oh, here we go. But everything is very much based on these crazy illustrations.
Yeah, it says it's a range of heroic scale tabletop miniatures based on the art of legendary Flemish artist Heironymous Bosch.
Yep. Heironymous Bosch is like the Salvador Dali, like 400 years before Salvador Dali. His artwork is just incredible, and the miniatures that Andrew's sculpted from that are just crazy. So
yeah, they are indeed crazy.
Yep. And the great thing about Andrew's stuff is that all of his Kickstarters are very simple. It's like, here's what you get. No stretch goals, no nothing like that. Here's what you get. You want to get this? That's cool. And maybe in the pledge manager afterwards, he'll offer up something like some of his older previous Kickstarters. But yeah, you just pay the money amount and boom. 3 or 4 months later, a lovely little package will show up with all your super cool minis in it. So I put a link in the notes so you can check those out below when you get a chance. Super good. The other one is Game Envy, the folks who make the Exemplar wet palette that I've been using since Adepticon last year. They have Kickstarter. Kit sent me some of the stuff for when there's a collapsible paint water cup.
Nice.
I'm not going to collapse it all the way because it has water in it, but it can collapse down and makes it nice and easy for transport.
I have one of those upstairs for my dog when I take my dogs on walks.
Exactly. Just like that, right?
It's just like that.
Yeah. So you can water your dog, you can water your brushes, you can do everything at the same time. He also has a weighted scrubby puck. So it's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's essentially like a silicone
nice
scrubber. And you can drop that into the bottom of your paint water cup. So it will help remove the paint from the bristles as you're scrubbing, which is neat. So that's in the Kickstarter. And there's a set of brushes. So his Phalanx Squad set. But my favorite one from it is the Phalanx Speed, which is it's a small round dry brush. But I've been using this. I don't know if you've watched any of Richard Gray's videos.
I have not.
Okay, you should definitely check out Richard Gray's painting videos. He's got a spectacular way of working on his miniatures and establishing his light and his volumes and that sort of thing. And he does it with a brush very similar to this.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stippling and building up the layers and building up the colors. But because it's he does it with very thin layers, the end result is super smooth. But it looks really nice. But again, that Kickstarter's in the link is in the notes below.
I just picked up new dry brushes today. I picked up the Army Painter Master Series.
Okay.
They're good. I'm not disappointed with them. They're
excellent.
They're pretty effective.
Cool.
My go-to honestly is because there's so many companies that make them, and 9 times out of 10 like the shape is wrong.
Right.
The best brush that I've had in recent years is I went to I was in the mall and I went with like some, like makeup and essential minerals kind of store and just picked up like a big like makeup brush, and it's awesome. It is, it has that shape that you want, that everything's like cast out. It works great. And I was like, wow, this is a super reasonable brush. And if it sucks, I was just going to throw it in the trash, but it's great. It's really good. So
cool. Neat.
Scott said he was poking around his garage and found an original Kingdom Death white speaker. OG number 34 out of 100 with authenticity and a spare imperfect mini. I'm going to retire after I sell it for fat stacks. Yeah, let me know how that goes.
I hope you do make fat stacks from that.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Super cool. But yeah, Richard Gray does yellow over black. Richard Gray is indeed the original gangster.
Yeah, it's pretty it's a solid move.
Yeah. It's awesome.
If you want to see speaking of things that are awesome, I just got this the other day. This is fantastic.
Oh, what is it?
And anyone who has the chance to pick it up, you 100% should. This is the new First Founding book.
Okay.
I own just a stupid collection of like Space Marine and Black Library lore books, like tons and tons.
Yep.
What's up, Bri? And this came out last week, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. So I cracked it open, and I was like, if it's just a reprint of like a lot of the stuff I have, kind of re-annotated and whatever, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna be that upset. It is completely new. It is literally a breakdown of all the Loyalist legions. So, and each chapter is written by a different author. So you've got, obviously, in order, Dark Angels, White Scars, Space Souls, Imperial Fists, Blood Angels, Iron Hands, Ultramarines, Salamanders, Raven Guard. Guy Haley does the introduction, and it's basically just like explaining what Space Marines are and how they got here and like where they come from. And then there's this classic monster painting.
Cool. Yep.
Adrian Smith with Horus standing over St. Gwinius.
Yep.
And the Emperor being like, bad move. So that's great. And then they explain, then there's the post the Codex Astartes where Gilliman's like, we're not going to do that anymore. And he explains all that. They explain like the weapons, and it's loaded with spectacular artwork. Some of it's brand new. Some of it's like the classic stuff. Where's really, and like, so the Dark Angels chapter is all Guy Haley.
Yep.
And there's some amazing artwork in here. Like artwork, a lot of it's classic, but a ton of it's stuff I've never seen before.
Okay.
But let me find you. There's one drawing in particular that I was like, this is amazing. And I thought of you when I was looking at it, because I knew you were working on your Raven Guard and your Iron Hands. Where's the Raven Guard one? But if anybody wants it, email me or Dave or whatever, and I'm trying to restock it at the store. It's gorgeous. It is a beautiful book.
Sean's just joined us. Hello, Sean. For those who are excited by this riveting television, it's Jake looking through a book. I'm trying
to find a cool picture for you.
I'm going to suggest that the Raven Guard are probably towards the back.
Yeah, they're the last ones. And there's a really, really cool picture that is new. And they talk about how they're all like super stealthy and stuff, obviously, and they're really like ninja-y and they want to sneak around. And there's this great picture of here we go. It looks like it's a couple of like chaos cultists, and they're about to be murdered ninja style.
Right.
By the three Raven Guard that are like hanging out. There's like one on either side of the door, and then there's one above them in the rafters.
Right.
And that's a new. I've never seen that picture. Totally like it's a really nice book. It's truly like one of the better ones that I bought.
That's far too many Raven Guard for that task.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they were like, hey, maybe there's Chaos Space Marines here. No, it's just these three clowns. All right, well,
okay, one at a time.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
One each. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Very neat.
Yeah, super pretty. I was like, I started to get into it the other day. I was like, no, I have stuff to do. I have stuff to build. I can't get sucked in. But it's like I said, I thought it was just going to be a reprint, and it's not. It is loaded with new stuff.
Okay, cool.
So it's really cool.
Sweet. Well, that's good. Well, I think has that covered everything? Have we talked about all of our hobby stuff?
I think so.
Maybe. Soon, I will have some photos. I don't know when I'll be able to show them, but soon I'll have some photos of a table that I'm building.
Nice. Okay, I'm excited for that.
I mentioned the table before, and it's it's almost done. So close. I have to have it finished by this weekend, or at least on this weekend. So
Brian's been painting up kill teams or Warzone teams to play on.
Yep. Yeah. Should be super cool. I'm excited for it. There's a few things that I've tried on it that I haven't done before, that are working out pretty well.
Hopefully, a forklift doesn't put its like tines through the box this time.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Dude, I can't believe that happened. That is like the stupidest thing ever.
Oh, I can totally believe it.
Okay, believe it's the wrong word. I can't understand how that happened. Like the forks go under whatever you're lifting, not punch through it and lift it up. Like
you've not worked in a warehouse before, have you?
I have actually.
Yep. Yeah, well, these things
Yeah,
happen.
for those people who are in the show who have no idea what I'm talking about, Dave built these 2 beautiful tables for Modifius last year. One is this like a Skyrim table essentially, so it has like a temple that's built up in like into like a mountain range, and it's really cool. And then the other one is like what is it? It's a gas station or is it a diner?
No, it's a Fallout. It's the Fallout. It's Nuka World. It's a parking lot of Nuka World.
Oh, okay, right. So
Yep.
it looks like a Sonic, and it's like a Fallout. It's a Fallout Sonic essentially. And Dave did a spectacular job. He built tons of like scatter terrain to put on them, and like there's all these like fixtures that are built in, and it's obviously meticulously well built. And then he custom made like crates that it would fit into, and everything would be protected. And then we paid extra to get it shipped out.
Yep.
And then apparently some meathead driving a forklift punched the tines of the forklift through the crate, like the custom crate, and damaged the tables.
Yeah.
Miraculously, they weren't as badly damaged as they could have been.
Yeah.
But still, that's just crazy.
Yeah, these things happen. But that's why you build it extra durable.
Yeah.
As durable as possible. Without being too heavy. But yeah. So yeah, but fun stuff there. So that's all good. And I've got some more photos to take for the tremendous tome of decorating dungeons.
Okay.
I finished off some pieces for my Sinister Sands of the Snake Kin section. Yes, it's rare the veterans of SEAL Team 6 are running the forklifts in the warehouse.
Yeah, it's more like SEAL Team 4.
Yeah. Snail Team 4.
Yeah.
So I did get that, and this Sunday I'm going to be taking some photos of, I think it's Sunday, Jeff's final submission for that for that book as well, which is his huge Underdark table.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be absolutely awesome to photograph that. Which reminds me, I invited Jeff on next week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
To talk about building dungeons and running games on dungeon setups, and also running games at conventions, because he loves to do that as well.
Oh yeah, I remember when we were at GW, he used to run like the big mega event at Games Day.
Yep. So he's done that sort of thing. But yeah, so we'll get some photos of his Star Wars Legion stuff that he's done at events.
Okay.
Some of his dungeon stuff, and we'll do a little sneak peek of some of the tremendous tome.
Nice. He'll be the second. He'll be somebody on the show next week who works at the second best hobby store.
You guys can argue about that. I'll stay. But yeah, definitely cool. Oh, James says Sunset Sarsaparilla is better than Nuka-Cola.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure where's Sunset Sarsaparilla from. Is that also from Fallout, or is that Badlands, or whatever it's called?
I don't know.
I feel like no, James. But yes. Oh,
it
New
could
Vegas.
be a drink from
Fallout New Vegas. There we go.
Okay, it could be. I was gonna say, what's the drink from Megaforce?
Oh, I don't know. It's full of cocaine, though. I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
There we go. Excellent. Cool. Well, we were talking about paints tonight. Yeah. So should we jump into that conversation, see what everybody's got to say?
Sure.
About paints. Oh, that was close. Sorry, give me a second.
I was trying to come up with like different companies and stuff. I mean, there's a million. There's so many good ones now. The one that always cracks me up is AK. Because Mig is on his third paint company.
Right. Yep.
And AK just put out their version 3 of all their colors. Yeah. And I'm like, it's that whole thing is insane to me. So first it was what it was. It was Ammo by Mig. right?
No,
Was that first?
I think it was just it was Mig. First up was Mig.
Okay, because Mig is still around. You can still buy Mig stuff.
Yeah. So it's
That
Mig.
he doesn't own it.
Yeah. So we're talking about like Miguel Jimenez. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Jimenez.
Yep. Yep.
Who started a company with another person called Mig.
Yep. Yep.
And then he was basically there was essentially like a hostile takeover.
Yep.
By his business partner, who essentially finagled it so that he could kick him out. And then he started another one, which was Ammo by Mig.
Yep.
And unfortunately, he chose another good business partner, but a poor person terrible person who, again, finagled to kick him out. Or is it AK, and then now it's Ammo by Mig?
No, so AK is the current one.
AK is where he's at now. Okay.
I think.
Who knows? I can't remember. I can't keep track of it anymore. But yeah.
I just think it's hilarious that this poor guy has started 3 paint companies that all have some version of his name in the title,
right.
And he doesn't work for 2 of them. Like, oh man, that's nuts.
It is pretty crazy. But yes, I'm just going to switch this over to the big picture. So we've got a huge jumble of paints on my desk.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I got a few things in there.
You get some AK stuff in there.
Yeah, just like the AK. Only AK stuff I've got is the Firelands.
Yeah, I see some AK, some Pro Acryl. I see a bunch of Vallejo. I see some Citadel.
Yep.
I see some P3 in there.
There's the Army Painter War Paints matte black there. Where else is that? I think it's my favorite black paint. Is the
matte black. The matte black's great, and the nice thing again because they're smart and companies are doing this now. The fact that you can buy their color match primer,
right?
It's awesome.
Yep.
Like the fact that Games Workshop still makes 3 different blacks is just I don't understand.
Sure.
Like what are you doing?
Yep. Being ridiculous is what they're doing. But yeah, so I've got those sort of things in there. There's another. Yeah, the one. So there's Fireland, and then there's the red paint next to that, which I think is this one. Yeah, the bloody
That's Vallejo,
red.
right?
Pardon?
That's Vallejo.
Vallejo, yeah, and then there's the lava orange Army Painter Air paint.
Yep.
But yeah, so those are a lot of the paints that I use. The brands, the actual paints that I have on my paint station here. I say paint station.
I think
pile of crap.
I think the smartest thing that Army Painter has done is with the new air paints, where they have the low, mid, and high. Like when you look at the rack, it is designed so that you can buy in groups of 3. You just grab those 3 colors, and it's your undercoat, your mid-tone, and your high tone.
Right.
And I was like, that's just genius. Like it's just set up like that.
Nice and easy triad.
So you're like, oh, what's the color? I want that color. Okay, cool. Then, depending on where it is in the rack, you're either grabbing the 2 after it, the 2 before it, or the 1 on either side of it. It's like those are your colors. Like you're done.
Right.
It just makes it really easy for people who are like trying to get into airbrushing and get familiar with it. It just makes it super simple to have all your tones right there. So you're not like, I love GW's paint, and it makes sense to me how it's set up. Like, you've got like your layer paints and your contrast paints and your base paints and your technical paints and your shades. But if you're somebody who like isn't the most prolific painter, you're like, oh, these are all the same. And I always have to be like, no, they're not. The base paints have a much higher pigment count. It's supposed to be like your undercoat, and then like your layer paints are like your highlights for the base paints.
Yep.
It can be hard to go, okay, I need this one, and then I need this one, and then I need this one. Whereas again, Army Painter, it's like, that's my paints. I'm all set. I'm done.
Right. Yeah. It's good that they do it that way. It does make it easy in the store, for sure.
I'm hoping to get the new Vallejo rack.
Right.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. This is the year. We tried to get it. I want to say 2020. We were at 2020. It might have been 2019. I think we were at Gamma 2019, and Alex Vallejo took us out to dinner, and we were chatting, and I was like, oh, I'm having a really hard time getting Vallejo stuff. And he was like, I'll take care of you.
Yep.
And I was like, do you want me to send you my stuff and you can bill me? He's like, no, I'll take care of you. And I was like, that sounds great. And then, I'm sure that, you know, it got lost in the shuffle, and then they were having trouble with like importing stuff, and then COVID happened.
Yep.
So like they didn't import anything. But yeah, that I have a lot of people who really like Vallejo, and we would love to carry it, but it's so hard to get in stock because there's what do they have, 4 ranges now or 5 ranges now? Because there's like the model color.
Yep.
Then there's game color.
Yep.
Then there's air or game color air.
Yep.
Then there's
model
mecha
color air.
color.
Pardon?
Oh, yeah, model color air. Then there's mecha color.
Yep.
Which is all the weird like metallic Gundam ones. And then there's like all of their like effects.
Yep.
Like their effects rack. It's a daunting number of SKUs.
So they also have like Panzer Aces.
Oh yeah.
They got a few. They have a few other lines as well. I'm sure it's more like 8 or 9.
It is a lot.
It is. This is true. Just quickly, Scott said I got my volumes 4 to 6, so that's the art of volumes 4 to 6. All very nice. Enjoyed Chris Surrey's volume the most. Wild that he's a pediatrician as well. So now we know what Scott does. Scott is a pediatrician.
Nice.
Excellent. Cool. No, great stuff, Dave. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Scott. Super excited about those. So in the US and Canada, all shipments went out about 2 weeks ago. Started to go out about 2 weeks ago. So almost all of them should have hit by now. In the UK, Europe, rest of the world, everywhere that isn't sort of US and Canada, I think we're looking at them leaving ShipQuest this week. So nice. ShipQuest had a little bit of a delay getting some of the packaging in. So they should start to go out this week. I know that half of them have been picked, and a third of them are in the hands of carriers. So we'll start to see things moving soon, which is really nice, finally. But those will be on sale end of March, beginning of April, in various locations. I'll talk about that more once we get to that stage. But yeah, so that's my big picture of my pile of stuff. The next pick I've got here is the picture you sent me. So I'm assuming this is the extent of your paint collection? Neatly arranged?
Yeah, that's it. No, I literally grabbed like my favorites. Like,
okay.
Those are like some of my favorite tones to use.
Yep. And so that, you haven't actually opened that first one? Whatever was that?
No, I'm saving that. That is my oldest pot of paint,
right.
And it is still all liquid. The seal is still good. That's the old Citadel color turquoise glaze in the hexagon bottles.
Yep.
Like that is amazing. And then next to it is that is like the last wild pot of chestnut ink that I have.
Right.
It's one of my favorite tones of all time.
Yep.
And then the next to them is essentially but it's a awesome color. The new Agrax is really good. I forget the name. I think that's White Alchemy, which is the scale color. It's a little pearlescent.
Okay.
Yep. Just a little bit. So I use that on my my flesh eaters. I paint all their stripes white, and then I go back and I hit them with that, and it just makes them look a little shimmery.
Right.
And then rough iron is just one of my favorite colors. That's almost like the old like tin bits almost.
Right.
The old GW tin bits. That's about as close as I can get. I do like that color a lot. That's a great color. I'll do cast iron with that. I'll spray stuff black.
Yep.
And then I'll dry brush rough iron onto it.
Okay.
And it gets those like flecks of metal in it, which looks great.
Yep.
Blood for the Blood God is such a cool color. I don't think anybody has a tighter technical range than GW.
Right.
Like all of their technical paints are good. There's no bad ones. Like Typhus Corrosion, the Nylak Oxide, they're so good.
Yep.
And that's like Evil Sun Scarlet, which is just a great red, and then Incubi Darkness, which is just one of my favorite colors. It's just like a nice deep sea green. I don't get to use it that much, but I really like that color.
Right.
That's my Alpha Legion base coat. I have it's not quite as old as my chestnut ink, but I have a can of ink. I have a spray can of Incubi Darkness.
Okay. Radio.
So I primed all of my Alpha Legion with that, and I'm like hoarding, and I only use it on them.
Right.
So they'll match forever. But I base coat them with that, and then I'll do washes, and then I have a pot of I think it's Green Stuff World. It's one of their weird color shift
Okay.
paints. It's supposed to be like green to purple.
Yep.
And over the Incubi Darkness, it gives them that like iridescent snake scale look. Like I only brush it down, so it's only on like the tops of their shoulders and stuff. They look sick.
Cool. Excellent.
Oh yeah, Brian Martin brought up a good one. Old school Crimson Gore. That was a great color.
All right. Yep. Sorry, I was going to say, Scott says, no, I'm not a doctor. I really don't care about kids. He meant that Chris Surrey is a massively talented painter and he saves kids' lives.
He's a butcher by trade.
Butcher by trade. There we go. Same sort of thing. Doctor, butcher. And then he said, a little while ago, you guys couldn't spell Heironymous Bosch. Well, I spent 5 minutes on Kickstarter looking at Andrew Marr's work because I misspelled May and couldn't figure it out for 5 minutes. Awesome.
It used to be an electric blue GW metallic.
Amethyst blue.
Oh, okay, nice. I don't think I ever used that.
I'm pretty sure it was called amethyst blue.
You were probably right.
Even though amethyst is purple, right? But
yeah,
might have been a purpley blue. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember it either. Sean said I used to have a few of the old tall hexagon models. Mostly used as the orange wash. Yep. Excellent. Scott says, Jake, why don't you join the Airbrush Master Race?
You mean this one?
Oh, that orange ink. I think Sean had the same one as your turquoise glaze.
Oh, nice.
Might have had those.
Yeah, I don't airbrush. It is not is not something I do. I use a lot of rattle cans, and I'll do like layering and stuff. And I'll do lots of zenithal highlights, but that's it. I don't really.
Yeah.
I do not airbrush.
That's okay.
I think part of it is like. I don't want to say it's a trap because it's just another tool. I think that any tool you use to paint, I think it's great. But I don't know. I think that for me, part of it is like the only time I want to use any sprays is for my base coats when I'm laying down my base coats, or at the end I'll use like I'm a huge fan of using matte varnish. Right. So as soon as I'm done with everything, all my transfers, whatever, I matte varnish them.
Right. And
it seals your models. Like I know so many friends of mine that have like, rubbed spots rare, and I'm like, I'm like, just varnish it. What are you doing?
Yep. Cool. So that's what this photo is. These are your favorite paints.
Yeah, they're just some. Those are probably my favorite colors.
Your top
I think
9.
I get the most mileage out of those.
Okay, what you've got? If you had to add one more to that, what would it be?
Oof.
You got 9 there. Let's take it to 10. A nice round number.
They don't make it anymore, and I think that's why I put Incubi in there. Do you remember? Storm Blue?
No.
It was a GW color. It was super dark. It was like it was a shade darker than like Crimson Fist's like armor. It was almost like a bluish sea green. It was so dark though. You had to like dry brush the crap out of it to make it show up, but it was just such a great tone.
Right.
But now I would probably pick another color I really love using is Tesseract Glow.
Okay.
I use it on all of my. I use it a lot on Space Marine eyes and lenses. It just has that like super bright pop to it.
Yep.
That would probably round out my 10.
Okay. Nice. Next up, so what I did was I looked through the listing that everybody of all the paints that everybody provided, and made a little composite picture of them. So this was in the post on the BuildPaintPlay Facebook group. So these are all the paints that were mentioned, plus one other paint that wasn't mentioned. But then of course now already you've mentioned 2 other companies' paints that we haven't put up here.
What's on the top left? What is that?
What is it? Hang on a second.
Catfish colors?
What is it?
It looks like it says catfish colors. It's probably not, but
No, cuttlefish. It's cuttlefish.
cuttlefish. Okay,
Yes.
I've never heard of that one.
And that particular color is called Kevin.
Nice.
Yes.
I have never heard of that.
I hadn't heard of them either. Actually, I think I had heard of them, but had never actually looked at the bottles. But it was pretty crazy.
You got Citadel, obviously.
Yep. So
Vallejo.
yeah. So cuttlefish, Citadel, Vallejo. That's a tinny tin. Had to throw in tinny tin there.
Nice, of course.
Apple
What's the
barrel.
one with the apple barrel?
Apple barrel craft paint.
Don't know that one.
Yep. AK Interactive.
Yeah.
P3. Army Painter. Scale 75. Turbo Dork. Chimera. Golden So Flat. Paints. It's another craft paint.
Okay.
Pro Acryl. Reaper Master Series paints.
Yeah.
And Two Thin Coats.
Yeah, Duncan Rhodes' new line.
Yep.
So I would say in addition to this, remember we've got the two other AK MIGs companies.
All
so
right.
you've got MIG and then Ammo by MIG.
Yep. I picked these out because people had mentioned them specifically. But you also mentioned Warcolor. You mentioned Green Stuff World.
Yeah.
There are like 3 or 4 other ones.
There's also you got Reaper on there.
Yep. It's because his catfish colors is what Alex Vallejo did to Jake. They're on the way, Jakey boy. Be there real soon.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like I paid for them. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do your salad." I was like, "Okay, that'd be cool."
It's not like you didn't take him to dinner.
Yeah, 100%. He bought dinner, so I was like, whatever. It was me, Big Rick, and Jason Acevedo.
Right. Yep. Chris Gorg says huge minis. James says Turbo Dork. We've got Turbo Dork on there.
Yeah, Turbo Dork's on there.
Pearly Gates. Huge
there's
minis is another new one.
There's also Mr. Hobby, and there's Tamiya.
Oh yeah, and in the scale model world, there's a whole other bunch. You still got Humbrol.
Yeah, I always forget about Humbrol.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Does Testers still make their whole line?
Yeah, they do.
That's how I started.
They still make them.
Buying metal minis, Raul Partha minis, and then painting them with
Testers and Humbrol. Yep.
Yeah, like Testers. Those are enamel. Those are like oil-based enamel paints, not water-based acrylics.
Yep.
I remember switching over to water-based acrylics. I was like, this is so much easier. These paints are so much better.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to keep going down and like raiding my dad's stash of like mineral spirits to wash out the brushes.
Thinner. I had the little metal thing of like thinner.
Right. Yep.
You couldn't use it in enclosed space, otherwise you'd start getting a little loopy as a little kid. I was like, whoa, something's not right.
Jeez. It's so a quick rundown of what folks have been talking about, or what they posted about in the Facebook group. Nathan Herron, is a friend of the show from Texas, says as much as I love me some Pro Acryl, if I can only have 5 paints, I'm choosing Scale 75's Artist Acrylic range. Black, white, primary red, primary blue, primary yellow.
You can make every color after that.
Every color from there. Yeah. So that's where Nathan's going. What I should have said was you can pick 5 paints. All other paints will be randomly supplied. You don't know what you're going to get, but which ones do you have to have? Scott says, I'm enjoying Pro Acryl. Really like AK's 3rd generation. But his all-time top 5, though, would likely be Vallejo Brown Black, Vallejo German Grey, Vallejo Brown Olive, GW Bugman's Glow,
okay,
and Vallejo Buff.
Yeah, Bugman's Glow is a great color.
Yep. The other colors are great too. But there's I think the overriding sort of list of all of those there is they're all very desaturated. So I think that matches a lot of Scott's painting. When he's going for that more realistic look.
Yeah.
So a lot of desaturated there, but that's a good list. But very interesting there. Like, I like Pro Acryl and I like AK third generation, but I'm going to list a whole bunch of Vallejo paints.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. There are some paint ranges that are still, people are still working out what their favorites are. They haven't overridden their previous paints.
Citadel always cracks me up, and I have a soft spot for Citadel.
Yep.
So back when you and I were there, like, and people forget this all the time, the reason why Citadel's colors were so good for so long was they were all done by Winsor Newton. Like, Winsor Newton originally designed I don't think it wasn't the original.
No,
but
the original was Coat d'Arms from France.
Yeah, but when they switched over, I thought it was Winsor Newton. Maybe was it always Coat d'Arms?
I don't know. I'm not sure. When they switched to the hexagonal, that orange ink pot.
Yeah.
I think when they switched to that is when they might have switched from Coat d'Arms. But I didn't know it was Winsor Newton. I hadn't heard that.
But I might be mixing it up. It might be Coat d'Arms, because Coat d'Arms still makes good paint too.
They do, yeah.
But all of GW's paint was made for them by a company that just does paint.
Yeah, by paint.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So and they've kept it up now. Like, now they I think they do everything themselves, but it was all designed by like a professional paint company.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the reason why a lot of the smaller companies, like, I have a really tough time with. Like, I don't want to mess with anybody, but like, there's a couple paints on here that I'm like, I would never use those.
Right.
But
yeah,
I've also, like a lot of people, I think we've also, again, without naming names, there are a couple of companies that I will never use their paint again, because I tried like 2 or 3 different colors and was like, that's 3 strikes, I'm done. Like, I've tried 3 different colors, like, I'm not using your paint.
Right. Yep. I think that's one of the great things as well, is that we all paint in different ways.
Yeah.
We all approach our painting differently. There's different things we're trying to get out of it. There's different techniques. There's different ways that we're moving the brush, even down to that sort of thing. Different palettes that we're using, all sorts of things. And not everything works exactly the same way. If it did, it would just be because you like what's on the like bottle, what the picture
Right.
the picture on the bottle, or the shape of the bottle that you find pleasing. All the blacks are the same, but I like this one because it's in this shape bottle.
Yeah, James got it.
Yep. Okay, HMG.
Yeah.
But that's still a French company, though, aren't they? Pretty sure.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
I think Citadel. Yeah, Citadel used to be made by HMG, and Coat d'Arms helped them design their whole line.
Oh, okay.
But then after their contract was up, I think HMG continued to produce Citadel paint.
Ah, okay.
Is Warcolor the company that's in Poland?
I think Warcolor is Polish. Yep.
So there was a guy a couple of years ago. Remember, you know how GW has changed their whole line of colors, like scorched brown doesn't exist anymore, and like they changed a lot, like bilious green and scorpion green. So this guy basically bought 5 paints.
Yep.
And same thing. It was like, a white, a black, a blue, a red, and a yellow. And he showed you how to make all the old GW colors.
All right, yeah.
It was like, oh, do you want to make Catechin green? Well, then it's 2 dots of black, 1 dot of white, 1 dot of blue, 2 dots of yellow, and then he showed everybody how to make. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely awesome stuff. Very cool stuff there. Quickly, Mark Murphy on the group said Pro Acryl Pyrrole Red, Pro Acryl Titanium White, GW Lead Belcher, GW Skeleton Horde, the contrast paint.
Great color. Oh my god, that color's good.
And Vallejo Electric Blue. So
Skeleton Horde is great. You can use it for anything. You can use it as a contrast paint. You can use it as a shade. It works like a great it's almost like a different coverage. It's kind of in between Seraphim Sepia and like Agrax Earthshade.
Yep.
And because it has all the particulate, it does a great job like having like washes and effects on it. You can use it on anything. It's such a great color.
Yeah. No, definitely good. Tim Tim Felton says scale 75 violet and contrast Sigvold burgundy. Do you even need any other paints?
Apparently, if you're painting purple, you do not need any other paints.
Yep.
Just those two.
Nice one, Tim. Jason Dyer says for brands, it's definitely scale 75 for metallics, Pro Acryl for colors. But his favorite color is Lagoon Blue from Badger's Minotaur line. So the Minotaur airbrush paint, like the primers and that kind of thing, which is another one we don't have up there, Badger.
Yeah, I didn't know Badger made their own paint. I know that they've been an airbrush company forever. I didn't realize they make their own paint though.
Oh yeah, the Minotaur line is huge. They've got loads of cool airbrushing paints. For a long time, we've used those for spray team.
There's so many lines. Like, you know, I always feel like we have a pretty good selection at the shop. We carry the full line of Citadel, full line of Army Painter. I have the full line of scale, but not in the rack. I have it in the kits.
Right. Yep.
You know, like they make a red kit, a green kit, a blue kit, metallic kit. I have that. I have the full line of Turbo Dork. And we're getting the full line of Tooth and Coats.
Okay.
And then I can still order, because I've ordered in the past, I can still order AK. I can order some of MiG. I can get Reaper. And we've had that stuff in the store. And again, we're trying to get Vallejo. Who knows?
Yep.
Maybe crawfish colors. Well, who knows?
Cuttlefish.
I don't know what we'll do.
Cuttlefish.
Yeah, cuttlefish. But yeah, carrying like 6 full lines seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is quite a lot for a store. Sorry, just jumping back in. Where are we at? Scott wants you to name names. We don't need to do that. Oh, Mark's here. Mark Henry from Goblin's Hut. Dirty Down always for weathering. And Chris Corker said, yeah, the Badger Ghost tints. I think I have I do, right here. How about that? The Fresh Blood Ghost tint. So it's a kind of like it's not candy. It doesn't give you super candy sort of thing, but it's essentially is one of the first hobby paints to do that kind of thing. So you can do a zenithal priming and then then airbrush this over the top, and you get that great sort of finish.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like a red pre-shaded finish kind of thing. That'd be good. But this has been sitting on my desk for a long time. I haven't used it for a while. So we have that. Yeah, definitely the Badger Ghost tints. And sorry, Jason Dyer also said his top 5 that he uses regularly are Citadel Snakebite Leather, which is the contrast paint.
Yeah, it's a great color.
Scale 75 Dwarven Gold, Pro Acryl Jade, great color, Pro Acryl Jade. GW Chaos Black, I'm kind of over the chaos. I still love it for the spray, but likewise, I'd go with the Army Painter. And the Army Painter Strong Tone, so definitely good there.
Yeah, strong tone's great. Like the tone, the fact that they make the tone in like the Minwax cans,
right.
like that is not an accident.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you remember back at GW before Army Painter existed. I remember having to paint. What were we painting? It was either skeleton warriors or like mummies. Right. I think they were Tomb King skeletons.
Right. Probably.
I think they were Tomb King skeletons. And we were painting them for, I think, Games Day. And we had every store had to paint something stupid, like 6 boxes of them or 8 boxes of them.
Right.
And we sprayed them with what did we did Xandri dust exist? No, it wasn't Xandri dust.
Would have just been white.
Yeah, but I think we just sprayed them white. So we sprayed them white, and then we bought a can of Minwax, and we were, we were dipping them and then flicking them, and then we oh my god, it just like churning them out.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the trick. That is 100% why they made the strong tone. Was it strong tone, soft tone, and dark tone?
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, they make other ones, but those are the 3 that come in the can.
Yeah. No, they are definitely good there. Josh Potter says Pro Acryl, Reaper Master Series, Citadel, but only the reds and yellows. I had a chuckle when I saw that. I think the reds are good. I'm not a huge fan of the Citadel yellows, but I think Citadel does some of the best greens.
Yeah, there's so many colors that they make that I want to use that I don't like. I think all of the the turquoise is probably my favorite. Like I love that in between.
Yep.
So all the Lizardman colors like Sotek green and was it Temple Guard blue and the Thousand Suns colors as well, like Ahriman blue and Thousand Suns blue.
Yep.
And now the two new ones you've got was it Lupercal and Sons of Horus?
Yep.
Like that, you're 100% right. That whole range is awesome
in there. Yeah, they're definitely good. Josh also uses Vallejo Model Color and Game Color, as well as the Brush On Primer, Golden So Flat, and surprisingly enough, craft paints, Americana and Apple Barrel. Now I have to say that I still myself struggle to conceptually come at those, like the golden and the apple barrel and that kind of thing. I think who mentioned it earlier? James Broadbent said the Walmart special right there on the apple barrel.
I can't.
Yep. But if you go and check out, so Squid Bar Miniatures did some fantastic sort of couple of videos on like what's the best paint ever. And they did a bracketed series, and in there they had the golden paint range and the apple barrel paint range, I think, as examples. And they performed a lot better than I thought they would have. And it's like,
you will have to send me that link.
Yeah.
I've definitely used them before, like never to paint minis, but I've used them like as craft paints, and they're fine. Like the apple barrel stuff. I don't recognize that particular brand, but I've gone to like, Michael's or whatever. I've bought whatever their equivalent is of it, and they're fine. Like if you're teaching your 6-year-old how to paint, they're great.
Yep.
But the big problem I have with them is they're too thick,
right.
and by watering them down, it's different consistencies every time. Like it's such, and that's not like a precision bottle, right? Like
no.
You really got to be careful with it. I just don't think it's worth it. Like if you lived in the middle of nowhere and there's no hobby stores near you, and there's like a Michael's next door, okay, I get it. I understand. Like you're kind of beholden to like what your options are, but there is no amount of money that I could save that is worth me painting with like oversized craft paint bottles. Like hard pass. They're like nothing. And I'm not trying to be like I'm an elitist and I paint with my pinkies out, but like you use the tools for the job you're trying to do.
Yeah. I will send you the link. I was surprised. It hasn't converted me, but because I also come from a similar feeling as you. Yeah. But Chris Gork has just pointed out as well that golden is an artist's paint. It's not a craft paint, like a cheapo craft paint. It's made for art. It's an acrylic paint made for artists. So I'm going back to Nathan Heron's suggestion. It was the Scale 75's artist acrylics. So in that suggestion, that's artist acrylics coming out of a tube. This is just that they're coming out of a container.
We can still order all those. Like we carry I'm sure you've seen it before. We carry Banshee's color theory package that they make.
Right. Yep.
And so when you buy the Banshee set, it's really cool. Like if you've never, for anybody who's like just getting into the idea of color theory and like how do I make things look a certain way, it's awesome. Like Banshee is super talented, and the box itself is great. So it comes with an actual color wheel, and then there's a whole thing on like color theory and like what colors do I marry with what, and like what's a complementary color versus like
contrasting.
A contrasting color. Like they show all that. Like it has a wheel. You can, like it's awesome. Yeah. And then it comes with the your 3 primary colors, so you can make your own tones, and then he shows you how to do that. It comes with a black and a white, and then it comes, and those are all in artisan tubes.
Yep.
and then it comes with a bunch of like basic paints to like learn how to paint.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it, I was like, "Do we want to get this?" And we ordered one. I was like, "This is phenomenal." We sell so many of those.
Yep.
But like both Vallejo and Scale, you can buy their entire range in tubes because Vallejo got their start as a fine art company.
Yep.
So.
Well, they're definitely still making fine art paints for sure.
Right. But I mean, like that's how they got their start. They got into like the hobby and scale modeling business afterwards.
Yep. Sure. Scott says, if you live in the middle of nowhere, maybe you should order from a store like Alpha Omega Hobbies.
Exactly, Scott.
And Chris says that their high flow is nice for airbrushing. I haven't used the So Flat yet, though. Talking about the Golden paint there. Chris, did Golden also do spray paints? I'm trying to remember. I know there's a spray paint range. I think it, for some reason, I'm thinking. Well, the reason I'm thinking it's Golden is they have gold cans. But basically the spray paint range that is done for graffiti.
Is this like somebody's like house brand?
Oh no, the one there is Golden So Flat, the one in the picture.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, Golden is they makes artist acrylics is what we're going there. But it's just an interesting one, and Josh uses them. Well, there we go. Bing says pretty much just Pro Acryl and AK 3rd generation, but I love the AK Extreme metals for larger metal areas. Extreme.
Everything is mixed with Mountain Dew.
That would be terrible. So sticky. Ben Fail, your delightful business partner.
Partner in crime.
Rakarth Flesh, Retributor Armor, Corn Red, Screaming Skull, and Reikland Flesh Shade. The new one.
Yeah, he's got some good ones. Rakarth Flesh is a great color.
That is a good one. It's just got that right touch of pink and gray in it.
The other one I like that's right in that kind of like area is Pallid Witch Flesh.
Right. Yep.
That's a great tone too. It's like a dirty white.
Yep. Chris says, I believe so. They also do a ton of mediums. So Golden doing a lot of mediums as well. James Broadbent says he's been slowly adding the Golden So Flat to his paint collection. And then he and Chris are about to have a conversation about whether they like them or not. Mike Cousins says P3 Morrow White, Cardor Red, red base, Signar Blue Highlight, Cygnus Yellow, and Pro Acryl Coal Black mixes needed. So he's got a red, he's got a blue, he's got a yellow, he's got a white and a black. But four of them from P3, one from Pro Acryl.
Interesting. I'm always surprised when people like kind of like talk about. I've had nothing but terrible luck with P3.
Yeah.
Just like nothing but bad luck. Like I know some people that rave about their black. I've used their black. Pass.
I wouldn't rave about the black, but I would rave about Coal Black, which isn't actually black. It's it's in that color range that you like.
Yeah, it's like Space Wolf Gray. It's like the
no. It's a dark blue green.
Oh, okay.
But it's got quite a bit of gray. It does have quite a bit of gray in it, but it's a fantastic highlight for black. And when you mix some white into it, or mix some like ivory into it, it's fantastic colors. It's the base.
It almost looks like Dark Reaper.
All of my Nurgle stuff.
Yeah.
The base for that.
Oh yeah. I saw the dudes you had last year at Adepticon.
Yeah.
They were painted. Yeah.
So the armor plates there, that base color is P3 Coal Black.
Nice. Okay.
But it's a range that definitely there's like there are a lot of people who got into that range and they're heavily into it.
Right, and that makes sense. Like I get it.
There's a few colors that sort of drift over into other things, and Coal Black is one of them. Sanguine Red is another one. But
what's the one on the bottom left?
Bottom left is Chimera.
Who makes that one? I don't know that one.
That's Chimera is the company. They're out of I think they're Italy. I think they're Italian. But But again, so Chimera do a lot of their paints are single pigment. So they're quite vibrant and they mix very well. You can control the mixing a lot better. So the idea there being when you're talking about single pigments against multiple pigments. So something like Payne's Gray, for example, is not a... Oh, you can't really see it there, but it's... so it's a dark blue-gray. So it's got black, it's got gray, it's got blue, it's got some white in it. And mixing it with other paints is going to give you a whole bunch of different results.
Right.
Mixing something that's more of a single pigment is going to give you a more controllable result.
Sure.
Yep. I mentioned the so coal black is very close to dark sea green or something like that from Vallejo. Like in the bottle, looking at them in the bottle, they're almost identical.
Yep.
But if you were to mix them both with an equal amount of ivory, you'll get a very different result. Because the pigments that are in each of them is different. So the results of a mix with that different thing is going to bring out some colors and knock some others back. The idea with this single pigment is that you'll get a consistent result when you're mixing. So yeah, Chimera, I think they're out of Italy, but they're very popular in Europe, very popular amongst high-end painters.
I've heard that the too thin paint stuff is really good. I haven't got a chance to use it yet. We have the entire rack on back order.
Right.
But we have a couple guys at the shop who did the Kickstarter.
Yep.
And obviously, if you're not a retailer, you're not waiting for the huge stupid rack to come in. So you could order whatever it was, the different levels. So one of our guys has the range, and he loves it. He was like, I am really pleasantly surprised how good they are.
Yeah, there are some there's some great videos out there as well, like from folks like Richard Gray. There's Mediocre Hobbies. There's a fun guy out of Ireland who does some cool YouTube videos, paints a lot of stuff. He's done a couple of like kind of cringy. The videos are cool. The thumbnails and the titles are a little bit cringy, clickbaity kind of thing. But yeah, definitely worth checking out some videos on people's reactions to the too thin coats, for sure. Clay Williams, a friend of the show from Huntsville, Alabama, said Vallejo, Cuttlefish, Chimera, Reaper Master Series, and Turbo Dork, in no particular order, but this would cover all my bases.
Cuttlefish?
Cuttlefish.
Oh, that's the one up there.
Yep, Kevin, top left. But and then Mike Cousins pointed out to him that he was asked for 5 paints, not 5 paint brands.
I mean, yeah, if I could just pick 5 paint lines, that'd be great.
That'd be great. Take the whole lines, yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. But it did bring up a couple that nobody else mentioned, so definitely good there. John Steining, a friend of ours who was out in Arizona, said my favorite paint is whatever's in reach. So
classic.
Definitely good. I think John used to do a lot of army painting, but now he just does a lot of relaxing painting whatever he wants to when he's ready to, nice. Which is certainly good. Darren McGregor down in Florida said Null Oil, P3 Morrow White, GW Chaos Black, Blood Angels Red, and Null Oil.
Well, yeah, Null Oil is magic. Like,
yep.
I have so many people that come in and they're like, "How'd you get this extra effect?" And I'm like, you either use Null Oil if it's a cold shade, and you use Agrax if it is a warm tone. And some guy was like, "What do you know?" I was like, "It is literally skill sauce. Yep. You are just give me a red Space Marine, I will put Agrax or shade on it, and it will look light years better than it did." Like those two colors can make anybody from a I don't know what I'm doing painter to like, oh, those are actually pretty good. Like it immediately updates everything you're painting.
Yep, for sure. But he said the reason he put Null Oil twice is because you'll spill the first one.
I have never. I have never spilt a pot of Null Oil.
Yep. Good for you.
I've watched Adam
Look at you
Pratt do
brag.
it. I've watched Adam Pratt do it like 3 times.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Excellent. Sean Gleason says, I've used mainly Citadel paints, but I have a smattering of Army Painter and Vallejo. His current favorite paints are the contrast paints due to the ease of blending them. Yep, which is actually absolutely true.
They are so good. There's right now there's 3 current lines of contrast paints. There's about to be a 4th. So GW was first to market with their contrast paints,
Yep.
and they clearly did their homework. Like every single color they make, they're so good. And the second wave where they just added a bunch of new ones, they're all dynamite as well.
Yep.
There's to your point, there's a ton of blues and greens. Like there's a lot of variety.
Yep.
And then all of their like flesh tones and their like earth tone washes are dynamite. So like people have brought up like Skeleton Horde a couple times and Snakebite Leather, which is another really good one.
Yep.
And then there's the
I love Athematic Blue.
Yeah, that's a great color. Another one that's good is so then Army Painter put out their speed paints.
Yep.
They're also really cool. The thing to keep in mind with the speed paints is like they're very reactant. So when they dry, if you get them wet again, they immediately come back to life and they'll start moving around. Yep. Whereas the GW paints, like once they're dry, they're dry. Like they're not gonna, unless you add more of the same paint, just do a second coat. You're not gonna like reactivate them. Yep. So if you use the Army Painter ones, just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because like the I think the thing around that was everyone looked at contrast and was like, okay, so it's one thick coat and done kind of thing. And contrast, maybe not quite like that. But the speed paints were very definitely promoted as one coat and done.
Yep.
So if you do that one coat, there's no need for you to be coming back and hitting it with other paints or other water or anything like that. You've done that one coat. So the reactive properties weren't fully considered.
Yeah. And then what's the other one we carry? We carry the scale 75 the Insta paints or their potions. Yep. They're cool, but like they're much more subdued. So whereas the GW paints are just an absolute punch of whatever the color is, the Insta paints are much more. They're almost like a shade. They're like you'll look at the color and you're like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Like Athematic Blue, you're like, oh, this is gonna be super bright, and then you do it, and it looks dynamite. Their bright blue potion, you put it on, and it's much more subtle.
Right.
It doesn't have anywhere near the amount of. I'm assuming it has way less pigment.
Right.
But it just doesn't. They're still really cool, but it is a different effect.
Yeah.
Like it is definitely a different thing, even though they're trying to market it as an Insta paint. And I know that Vallejo has theirs coming.
The Express.
Yeah, they're Express colors.
colors.
Rick has some of them.
Right. Okay.
Apparently he likes them. He said he really digs them. So.
Yep. And then Army Painter doing the Speed Paint 2.0. So he's been putting a lot of effort into working out what they want to do with that reactive property. So it's gonna be interesting to see when those hit the shelves and that sort of thing.
Again, as long as you're aware of it, like it's fine. But if you aren't aware of it, it can ruin your day. If you are trying to put down layers and you try to add something to it and it comes back to life and mixes with whatever you're doing, it's not the best.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Cool. And Chris Gorka said Pro Acryl, Scale 75, and Vallejo Monocolor are my preferred brands. So I think, I haven't used a lot of Scale 70. I haven't used any Scale 75, actually, to be honest. But, Pro Acryl, Vallejo, definitely in there for mine. But cool stuff.
Scale's pretty neat, too. The way they do their kits is a really interesting way to do it. So, like, you were talking, a lot of people like I like the reds or I like the blues.
Yep.
So they make a nature kit, which is like all greens and browns. They make a, I think it's called Storm and Ice. Right. It's all like blues. It's their whole like blue range. They make Fire and Blood, which is all their like reds and oranges and yellows. They make a Black and White, which is like it's your favorite thing. It's a grayscale.
Yep.
And then they make 3 metallic sets. They make a copper set, a silver set, and a gold set. Right. And then they make 3 non-metallic sets. So there's a non-metallic metallic gold set.
Right.
A silver set. a bronze set that don't have any metallics in them. They're super cool. And then there's a couple of weird ones. They make their Inkintensity, which is like their shades and washes. And then they make one called Floor. It's all like fluororeactant FX paints.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And so those are nuts. It looks like a tube of highlighters. It's like bright yellow and bright green and bright blue.
Yep.
Those are really neat. And then they make a flesh set. They make a fantasy makeup set, and they make a human eyes set. And basically, if you buy all the sets, that's their whole range.
Right. Okay. Yep.
But it's cool that they break it up because you're like, well, I don't need that stuff. I'm just gonna buy, I need reds and greens. Okay, I'm gonna buy the nature set and the fire set. I'm good.
Right.
And then they just put out a new metallic set. But you can buy. They also make like their mega box, which is like like everybody does. It's like one of everything.
Cool. We're just going to jump into the chat again. We're getting some strange.
No, I was gonna say Spain is definitely holding it down because like Vallejo, Scale, Green Stuff World, they're all Spanish companies.
Yep.
You said Chimera is Italian.
Yep. Well, companies working based in the US, so Privateer Press, Reaper,
and Proacryl,
Apple Barrel, Golden.
Where's Cuttlefish from?
I'm not sure. I suspect they might.
TurboDorks US.
Yeah, TurboDorks US. Transatlantic Games, who are making the two thin coats.
Yeah,
they're US.
Okay.
So.
Citadel is British.
Yep.
AK. I don't know where AK's from.
AK are Spanish.
So there's three more.
So James said, going back to that conversation that James and Chris were having about the Goldens. James said, I've been enjoying them. He did make the unconscious mistake of not thinning them down a little the first time he used them. Chris is going to have to give them a try. Are they super flat or matte? He said they make some GW paints look like gloss next to them. And Chris says, awesome, that's right up my alley. Nice. Scott says strong tone over Nuln Oil.
I mean, he's wrong, but that's fine.
I don't know. Well, it'd be dark tone, wouldn't it? Dark tone's the black.
Yes, strong tone is their Agrax, basically.
Yeah.
Dark tone is their Nuln Oil.
Yeah, I do like strong tone and dark tone though. James has never spilled Nuln Oil, but he did have a bad day with some Agrax Earthshade. Yep. Sean said Gulliman Flesh is a favorite base flesh color.
It's a great color.
Yeah. What have I got over here? I don't have Gulliman, but I do have Fire Slayer. I think I've used some of the Fire Slayer on my what are they called? Votan. Leagues of Votan guys.
Nice.
Chris says ink sets are great. Super pigmented ink. You can thin them forever. Oh, Keith just joined us. Sup?
Welcome, Keith. Yeah, James is right. They're at Arizona.
Arizona. Man, what is Arizona?
Army Painter's in Denmark, I think.
Army Painter's Denmark. Yep. Definitely all there. So nice. Cool. So there's that conversation. I think I always say if you're going to pick some paints, the first thing you should do is go to your local game store, see what they've got, and start with those ranges because it's easier to...
you'll be able to get it.
Yeah, you'll be able to get it. Easier supply. And you're supporting your local game store, which we're all about.
I think it's also good too because you can talk to the staff and go like, how do I what's a good color? I get so many people that come in, they're like, how do you do this color? Like,
yep.
What do you do to do this color armor? And I'm like, oh, well, I would get this and I'd get this in this shade.
Yep, exactly. If you don't have one nearby, you're gonna be buying them online. Then you've got a little more flexibility. You just need to be on top of how your paints are going. If you paint a lot, so I am almost at the point where I should have ordered Dark Umber already. I have a bag of, when I was going through my my word bearer phase, I had to make sure I got some burnt red and the bright pyrrole red from those. So I still have a couple of those left over. I think they're in a baggie somewhere here. But yeah, if you're ordering online, just make sure you're keeping on top of those, because sometimes your stuff might be out of stock or it might not get shipped immediately. So keep an eye on that. But that's why I always recommend whatever's local, whatever you can get locally, start with that.
You know, it's another genius move too in helping with painting. And again, this only works for GW, but I'm sure that you could convert it. GW has the Paint app.
Right. Okay.
You can download, which is awesome. Yep. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the store and been like, do I need more Mephiston red? I'm like, I should buy one, because I paint so many Blood Angels. I'm like, I should buy one. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, I have 3 jars already. Like, and now I have 4. Like,
yeah.
With the Paint app, you can put in if you have it, if you need it, if you don't want it. Like, it's really, really neat to like be able to manage it all. So you can be like, what color am I missing? Oh, I need Inky by Darkness. I got to get one of those. Like, yeah. It's a really cool. I think it's one of the better apps that's actually useful.
Cool. Scott says, my crusade is to keep beginners from buying a mega set from any supplier and to try a bunch of different ranges. No experienced painter uses just one range. All ranges have strengths and weaknesses. Absolutely. I think we've seen that. We've proved that tonight. Yeah. There are a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. So definitely spread the love around. Try things, look at things that'll work for you. Other people might swear by it and it might not work for you, and that's fine. There are
Chris is the Paint Rack app.
Right.
Rack, WRACK.
Okay.
It has all the different brands. That's awesome.
Yep. So definitely everyone should check that out. But yeah, all good. All good there. Should we have a quick race through it's 8:30 already. So a quick race.
We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. We'll give everybody one more week to try to play a game if they can.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to give everybody till Sunday night.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind doing that. Again, the whole point of painting the models is that you're trying to use them in a game. So.
Yep. Okay. So at the moment we have 1, 2. So we've got Ben Fail, we've got Ben Williams, we've got Bing, we've got Brian Martin. We have Drew Carrington. We have Jeff Smith. We have Scott Radham. We've got Sean Gleason. Just a quick one about Sean's game when he was using his Star Shard Ballista from the his Lumineth Realm Lords. His first roll, 3 1s. Shaking my head.
It's not always in a kill, but
no,
it should.
But that's the thing, though. It's going to happen the first time out every time. First time every time. It's going to be that. Okay, so that's who we have at the moment. We have those folks in the running. So if anybody else has their week 3 game to get in for the Build Paint Play challenge, one more week. Brian said he got tabled in his game of Adeptus Titanicus, Curse of the Newly Painted Models.
To be fair, he was using them to get them in. He basically ran a Knight household against a Maniple.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's that's an uphill battle, like all day.
That is. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll give one more week. So just quickly, let's have a quick look at some other models that popped up in the feed. I wanted to show this one. This is from Chris Gorka. It's the model from the Monster Fight Club Cyberpunk range.
Yeah, it's their not Deckard.
Not Deckard, yeah.
Because they don't want to get sued.
And he looks fantastic.
He does look good.
So awesome work there, Chris.
Chris, you gotta give him the stripes on his collar, like Deckard actually has there's like the lines on his trench coat.
Yep. And a little bit more texture on his tie to Yeah, that like woolen
Yeah, that's true.
knitted tie.
And you have to make a teeny tiny little origami unicorn and put it on the base.
Fantastic. I'm sure you could actually just paint that on. You paint a little unicorn like lying flat on the base.
He's gonna fold it up.
Okay. Nice. Next one is another one from Chris. I couldn't not put this in. This is his McFarlane Batman from Night Models, I think. So
yeah, I posted on this. Like, I'm not sure what dimension Todd McFarlane lives in where the wind works like that, but I mean, it's a super cool looking model, and like it's a great paint job as well.
I think it's just it's a fantastic paint job on an incredible 3D representation of that artwork.
Yeah.
Super crazy. Beautiful work there, Chris. I wanted to show Jeff's Mystique. Jeff Smith.
Oh, yeah, his Mystique came out awesome.
Yep, for Marvel United.
Yeah, she came out great. His white is so clean.
Yep.
That is definitely not Corax white.
No, I don't think it is. But it looks great there, Jeff. Beautiful work. And finally, Chris Jones is very happy with the leather work that he did on this coat. For I think it's for the Judicia.
Oh yeah, Judiciar.
But yeah, looks great. Beautifully worn leather coat there, Chris. Very nice.
That model is so bananas. Like, part of me wants to really and the paint job is spectacular. I'm talking about the sculpt. Like, part of me wants to really, really like that model because I think it's really cool.
Yep.
And then the other part of me is like, it doesn't make any sense. So he's wearing power armor with a trench coat over it that he somehow managed to get one arm out of wearing power armor. Like, I'm like, this is insane. It is the craziest like concept ever.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, just slipping back to Chris Gorka's McFarlane Batman there. Scott says Todd McFarlane is Canadian. He's from the prairies, and the wind does that up here.
Batman would be dead. This is if Batman was caught in a hurricane. This is what this is.
It's just like,
yeah. A local wealthy man killed by bed sheets is how the news.
Local wealthy man killed by bed sheets is awesome. Nice. Okay, so that's it for this evening. Hooray! Thank you very much, everybody who has stuck with us through our discussion of paints, what everybody's favorite paints are. I think in general, we've got the standards in there, still in there, GW and Vallejo. Growing love for Pro Acryl and Scale 75. And an interesting look at all of the other paints that circle those. Yeah?
There are so many.
There are so many. You're living in a golden age, people. A Retributor golden age.
That's true.
Or if it's Pro Acryl, it's like rich gold.
That is a great spray can.
What's that?
That is a great spray can.
I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of the Retributor Armor spray. Because it's quite hydrophobic. So it's like a pain in the butt to put washes over. Because you just want to spray gold, put a Racron Feshade wash over it, and at least the one that
what I've done is if I have that problem, what I'll do a lot of times is I'll give them a quick dust with matte varnish.
Yep.
Like I won't like stay there and seal them like I normally would, but I'll just give them a quick dust with matte varnish.
Yeah.
Just to add some like texture to it.
Yep.
And then the washes seem to go on.
Yeah. But it also dulls the metallic sheen a little bit.
It does, but I don't like my guys looking super shiny.
Yep. That's fair.
Like I want them to be gold, but I don't want them to be like, C3PO polished up gold.
Yeah, sometimes I want that. But no, all good. Josh just popped in. He's snowboarding this week. Sweet.
Nice.
Yep.
And painting?
Fun? No, I don't think he's painting. He's probably in the lodge now. Knocking back some snaps or some Jägermeister.
Good for you.
Or whatever snowboarders drink.
Cocoa.
Scott says Vallejo is on the way, Jakey boy. Check the door now.
Whatever, Scott.
Yep. Awesome.
This is not how you get me to send you stuff in Canada.
Awesome. Okay, so one of the things that we'll do as well is I'm thinking that the first prize for our first Build Paint Play challenge will be a Pro Acryl starter set.
Okay.
So the starter paint set. So we'll
I like that.
We'll send that out to the person who wins, which Jake and I will be determining.
We'll have to message Pro Acryl and be like, "Hey, you're sponsoring us from now
on." Hey, Jake, can you? Sorry, I was saying Jake. Hey, Jason, can you do a quick sponsorship for us? But yeah, awesome. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. If you like the show, make sure you click like on this video once it goes live, which will be in about half an hour, I guess. Subscribe to the channel. Join us on our Facebook group. Link is below. Don't forget to check out those Kickstarters we mentioned. There's probably a few other things in the links below. I can't remember what they are. But
hopefully people can keep helping us grow, because we got about 3 or 4 months till we have to be in at San Diego Comic-Con, like, being guests and doing painting lessons. It'd be way cooler if we had
if people knew who we are.
Bigger following to do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyway, all that good stuff. What's the? There's one other thing. Next week, Jeff Hall is going to join us. My co-author of Tremendous Tome of Epic Dungeons. We're going to show some photos of Jeff's latest Epic Dungeon and some other convention games that he's run. Some Star Wars, some D&D, some other bits and pieces. So should be cool to have him on. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
For sure.
We will see everybody. Oh, I haven't been doing my proper.
It'll be a whole podcast next week of 3 XGW guys.
Oh my goodness, that sounds crazy. And we won't.
Let's see if we can get Brooke.
We won't mention that. Oh, cool. Yes. Sorry, Sean reminded me. Nova Open tickets go on sale tomorrow.
Yes.
Don't forget. So we had Owen Best on last week. If you want to learn a bit more about Nova Open and what's happening this year, go and check out that episode. And get ready to purchase tickets tomorrow. So March 1st they go on sale. Nova Open happening first weekend in September.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so. August 31st to September 3rd.
Yeah, it's always those like bridge days at the end of the month.
Yep, definitely good. Thank you very much for that, Sean. Appreciate it. Let's you ready? So we've done all that sort of thing, and the last thing we have to do is remind you to build, paint, play. Perfect.
Shut up and sit down.
Dynamite.
Shut up and sit down. and sit down.